There's a new effort underway that could see the most populous state in the country split in two. The New California Initiative is the latest proposal to divvy up the state, making Old California, primarily the heavily populated coastal cities, and New California, which would be made up of the state's more rural counties. The movement was founded by Robert Paul Preston and Tom Reed, who say on the group's Facebook page that New California is a new state in development by egregiously aggrieved Californians exercising constitutional right to form a new state separate from the tyranny and lawlessness of the state of California. The group issued a Declaration of Independence on Monday, but like other attempts to break up the Golden State or secede altogether, many see this one as facing a tough uphill battle. Joining me now is the undeterred vice chair of the New California movement, Paul Preston. Paul, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
So I'm looking at a map of New California. We had just put it up. How did you come up with these borders?
Well, we based it on ruralness. We needed representation in the rural counties of California because of the overpopulation, or the urban nature of California, and the dense population base has all the votes, and basically just about all the say that goes on in the rural areas is controlled by the urban areas. So but the map is really a reflection of ruralness in California, and that's really how it started. So
would I be right in saying here in New York, the equivalent would be that because New York City's population is so big and it gets a sort of outsized representation, you know, New York City essentially picks our presidents and senators, that it would be the same as cutting New York into New York City and the rest of upstate? Something like that?
Yes, and yes, it's exactly like that. In fact, people from New York have contacted me, and several of them have contacted me, and are following intensely what we're doing here in California.
Oh, I bet I know who they are. Okay, so
I bet you do.
so tyranny and lawlessness is your claim against, we'll call it current California. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think the Kate Steinle example of what's been going on with the sanctuary city status and the sanctuary state status is a classic example of this. And it isn't, you know, a lot of the real criminal behavior that we're seeing from a lot of the immigrants, the illegal immigrants who have been deported, is not being reported. We see it at the local level all the time, and it's just growing exponentially. And that's what we mean by lawlessness. It's real lawlessness that's happening, and people are dying. And this is just something that that's just part of it. You know, we have the overregulation, the overtaxation, the decline of educational systems. We're 50th in basically business friendliness in California, and we have high poverty. We have the highest poverty rate of any state in the nation, and homelessness over the last year and a half has absolutely skyrocketed in California. All you need to do is just check out what's going on along the riverbanks of California rivers. There are tens of thousands of people living in squalor in California, and one of the richest, most diverse places on the planet. We have this. It's unacceptable.
So, you know, this isn't the first time someone's proposed splitting up California. In 2014, a group tried to get a ballot initiative going to split the state into 6 smaller states. In 2011, a Riverside County supervisor proposed South California that would have included 13 southern counties. Why do you think that this movement is going to work when the others haven't?
Well, the others didn't follow the Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution, which was laid down by the Founding Fathers, that makes allowances for state splits. And I'm still mystified. I was calling and interviewing people in the state split in 2014, and basically, their perception was if you had a lot of money, we could force the state into 6 states. And other people were taking different avenues, all the wrong avenues, by the way, to create a state. So we're following the Constitution, which allows us to get citizens together, form ourselves, and then take our case directly to the state legislature. And that's what we're doing. We're taking it to the state legislature, which is provided for.
Real quickly, I'm just curious, and good luck with your effort in all seriousness. But why don't you vote with your feet and just move to a state that, you know, has the values and the laws that you like?
Well, you know, I'm a Californian. I'm an American, and this is my home. This is where my children are, where my grandchildren are. This is where my businesses are. This is where all my friends are. And just because the business climate has changed so radically, that isn't caused by me. It's not caused by our citizens here. It's been caused by bad governance. And that's why governance in California has reached a point where we have declared independence from California. We put the state on notice, that's what independence was, that we are in this process, and we hope to work very carefully with the state of California to end and create New California.
Well, thanks, Paul. I really appreciate you sharing your story. We'll be watching it.
Thank you.
Okay, the fighting continues in Syria. Now that the U.S.'s top diplomat says American troops will be there for the long haul.